Okay, I am going to tape this, so I'll go ahead and get started as if people come in if they want to leave questions. So I had a webinar today with Disney to talk about the new Genie and Genie Plus program that they're rolling out this fall at both Disneyland and Disney World. And I know that since they announced it earlier this week, there's been a lot of commentary. People are really worried about it. So I wanted to just go ahead, give people the rundown, answer any questions that people have. So I'll kind of start talking about it, and then as people come in, if you have questions, leave them in the comments, and we'll get to them. But first of all, this is a lot different than FastPass. So I know that the Disney World folks are probably a little concerned, a little trepidatious, a little worried, anxious. We all get like that with change. It's understandable. However, if you've been to Disneyland out in Anaheim, and I guess they also have the same similar system in Disneyland Paris, you're kind of familiar because it's a lot like it's kind of a hybrid between the two, Disneyland Paris and Max Pass, which is what they had out in California before, which I'm familiar with because I do love me some Disneyland. Um, so just to explain it, there are a few components here, and I think people are getting stuck because they're talking about how expensive it's going to be. And I want to say, first of all, you do not have to buy anything extra to have a good vacation at Disneyland or Disney World. These are just things that can improve it, especially if you don't like to wait in line or you're only there for a limited time and want to make sure you ride all those big ticket rides. This is actually a really positive thing. I know you're used to paying that fast passes were free and you're used to that. So you're anxious about having to pay, but it really I do think is going to be a better system. First of all, I think not having so many people on the fast pass lines will actually keep the regular queues moving. I know when I was at Disneyland, the queues at Disneyland, they seem to move faster than the queues at Disney World. And excuse me, when you're in the fast pass lane, they let so many people from the fast pass lane through. I think there's a certain ratio of how many fast pass people they let through versus regular queue. So while I'm sure that's still going to be similar with the lightning lane, um, I don't think you're going to have as many people that are going to be paying for it. I think that's going to keep things moving a little faster. I've been there a lot in the last year since there haven't been fast passes, which I think honestly is probably the best thing they could do because we're getting acclimated. And I've never seen a line, maybe, maybe, I think one time I waited for Runaway Railway, Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway, for 50 minutes. The line said an hour and 10 minutes and it was 50. So the times have been higher than you'd think. Like there was something when I was there last week. It said, I want to say it said it was a 40-minute wait and we were probably on the ride in 20. Um, so, right now, and that's without fast passes. Now we are not at 100% capacity. I will say fairly. Um, the park is not at 100% capacity right now, but you'll see the queues are moving pretty quickly without any fast passes. So I want to explain how this Genie Plus system is going to work. And I'll kind of tell you my experience with Max Pass and why I think this really is going to be a good thing. And I know you've got a lot of feelings. That's why we're doing this Q&A. That's why I'm here for you. Anytime you want to plan a Disney trip, that's why your travel advisor is there for you. And if I'm not your travel advisor, I'd love to be your travel advisor. If you already have one, I understand. But if you're in the market, it doesn't cost anything. And we really do help you make your trip more smooth, help you understand all the different things that are changing, like this, like the COVID guidelines, um, the cruise ship rules. We're earning our weight in gold with Disney Cruise Line right now. Cruise rules change every day. We'll do a Q&A on that a different day. So there are three components, as I was saying. The first one is called Disney Genie. Disney Genie is just, I'm not clear if Disney Genie is going to be its own app or if it's part of, because they did make mention of the My Disney Experience app and the Disneyland app. So I think Disney Genie is just an add-on. I don't think it's going to be its own app. It might be, but I think you're still going to have the park specific one, either My Disney Experience for Disney World or the Disneyland app. That means that so Disney Genie itself is just a personalized, and this is complimentary. The actual Disney Genie doesn't cost anything. And it is a complimentary, personalized itinerary that will update through the day. And it gives you tips. It tells you what spots are left in virtual queues, how long the standby lines are, and it will adjust your itinerary based on what you want to do and how long the waits are. So, say if you say you're going to Disneyland and you want to ride the Teacups, the Matterhorn, Space Mountain, Big Thunder Railway, and Pinocchio, we'll say. It's going to give you a customized, like, this is the best time for, based on the crowd levels, based on who has a park reservation today, this is your best plan of attack. Or say maybe like if you want to ride Pinocchio but it's broken down, it's going to say, hey, Pinocchio is broken down. It's going to give you tips and tricks the whole time you're at the park. That I think is super cool. It reminds me a lot of an app that is offered by a third party that costs money, and I'm not going to say their name, but some of you are probably familiar. It's a lot like that, and I'm just going to say I probably won't be paying to use their app anymore because this, like I said, sounds a lot like it. The next piece is the Disney Genie Plus, and the Disney Genie Plus is kind of like Fast Pass now. So with Disney Genie Plus, it's $15 a day per person in Disney World, 20 at Disneyland. I'll explain the difference in a minute. And it was 15 when it was at Disneyland before, so um, that's understandable. So it will be for certain rides, and it will be like Fast Pass. And you do not have to add it to your tickets. You can add it. You don't have to. You can wait in the regular lines. No harm, no foul. Um, but if you look and it looks like it's going to be a busy day, like maybe the park is sold out that day, I would say definitely. Or if there's something you have to ride, you're only coming for that one time, you have to ride something, you may want to get it. But you can get it every morning. You can look and see what's available before you pay for it. Because if there aren't a lot of good things or the ride you want is already sold out, you might not want to add it that day. I know that's what it was like in Disneyland. They told us, like, check and make sure what you want is available before you pay the $15. And we only added it one day, and that was because there were specific things that I wanted to do at Disneyland that day, and I did not want to miss them because I didn't know when I was going to get back to Disneyland. And what a good plan that was, because when was the last time we were at Disneyland? Because we couldn't go to California for 2 years. Anyhow, so you don't have to do it. And I will tell you, just from my experience at Disneyland, my experience last year at Walt Disney World, there's plenty to do if you don't have the Disney Genie Plus. You can wait in the regular line. Like, if you don't mind waiting at 45 minutes for Space Mountain, you don't need the Disney Genie Plus. If you would rather just walk on to your favorite ride and not have to worry about it, get the Disney Genie Plus, and you don't have to get it for every day. If you're going to be there for, say, 5 days and you want to add it to your package, so especially if you're going to make payments on your package, that is fine. You can do that. Or if it's just say it's your last day and you did not get to ride Test Track because it was broken down or there was a line, and you're going to Epcot that day and you just want to ride Test Track. And now, caveat, I don't know if Test Track will be one of the ones that costs extra. If it is, it actually probably will work out better for you. Um, but if there's that one ride you have to ride before you go home, this is actually going to be better for you. If you don't care, sometimes I go to the parks and I just go and I ride what has short lines and I get myself a churro and I people watch. I mean, obviously I'm not gonna need it to do that. But some days, like I really want to ride Seven Dwarfs Mine Train, and in that case, yeah, I'm gonna pay extra to do it. If I really want to ride it, I haven't ridden it for a while. The lines have been long. If you don't park drop or get before, if you didn't get a fast pass however many months in advance or be there right when the park opens, it was hard to ride it. So I think so, and that's the third. So the way the Genie Plus will work, it's like fast passes in some sense. You pay for it. You add it on in your My Disney Experience or your Disneyland app. You pick a ride and you look and see what time. So say it says the Haunted Mansion, you can go on it at 10 a.m. Okay, you pick Haunted Mansion. You can't get another one until you ride Haunted Mansion. And then once you get off Haunted Mansion, say you see Space Mountain and it's at 12:15. Okay, sign up for Space Mountain at 12:15. You get off of that and say you want to get something to eat then. Okay, go get something to eat. And then say you decide you want to go to Animal Kingdom because you just saw that you can get on Everest at 4 o'clock. Okay, if you got a park hopper, go do it. Um, it was hard before going to Disney World and having to know what you wanted to eat 6 months in advance, having to know what rides you wanted to ride 2 months in advance, having to know, is that lunch that I really want to have at Sci-Fi Dine-In, is that going to interfere with my ride on Tower of Terror? Like, it was a lot of work to plan a Disney vacation. I think this is going to give you a lot more freedom because I always liked Max Pass at Disneyland because I felt like I had more freedom. I didn't have to know what I wanted to ride 6 months out or 2 months out, you know. And I think that I've always said I wanted it to come to Disney World, so I'm excited about it. So like you can ride any ride one at a time. If you have park hoppers, you can park hop. And what that is it gets you in, it gives you a callback time to go get in that lightning line. Now, there will be some rides. The original quote that I saw, the examples they gave were Seven Dwarfs Mine Train and Rise of the Resistance. When we had the webinar today, they did not mention any specific rides. They said they haven't decided yet. If I were a guessing woman, I'm going to say it's those big ticket rides that, remember when you used to get like the promotional fast passes and they didn't work on certain rides? Like they didn't work on Slinky Dog, they didn't work on Flight of Passage, they didn't work on Seven Dwarfs Mine Train, and they didn't work on Rise of the Resistance. I think that's probably going to be, I don't know if there's going to be anything else, but I'm going to say those are probably the rides. You will still, and Ratatouille, I'm sure will be on that list as well because it's brand new. And probably when Tron comes out because it'll be brand new and people will want to ride it. If you get a spot, if you want to do standby for the rides, like Seven Dwarfs Mine Train, if you want to stand in line for 45 minutes, you don't have to pay to go through the lightning lane. Stand there for 45 minutes. If it's hot and you need to catch a plane in 2 hours, get to leave for the airport in 2 hours, go do that lightning lane if there's a time available. See, I think the biggest thing, and these will be extra, they'll be add-ons. I don't know how much they'll be. They didn't tell us that, and you don't have to have the other Genie Plus to do these add-on rides. You can just do them. So you can just wait in line for everything at Magic Kingdom, but say you find a time at 2:15 for Seven Dwarfs Mine Train and you want to pay the X amount of dollars to add that to your ticket, you can. I see this as a positive. I know you guys, you can still wait in line. No one's telling you can't. You can still get up at 7 o'clock in the morning to try for Rise of the Resistance. The difference is if it's the last day of your trip and you've never gotten Rise of the Resistance every single time they've done the boarding passes, you can pay and get on. So you aren't going to miss it. I don't know how many times I see in these different Disney groups, I've been here 10 days. I'm going home to wherever tomorrow, to Iowa, and I never got to ride Rise of the Resistance. This is going to change that for people. They're going to be able to, and you're not, I know people that have gotten the VIP pass, the VIP tour, that costs thousands of dollars just so they could ride Rise of the Resistance. Wouldn't you rather pay like whatever, if it's $12, $15, even $20? That's a lot better than doing an all-day VIP tour. But if you want a VIP tour, I know a girl who can hook you up. Um, so, so you don't have to get any of these things. It just adds extra options. If you really want to ride something, you're going to have more chances to do it. And yeah, it's going to cost a little more, but if it's worth it to you to ride that ride, then it's worth it to you. But you don't have to do it. You can wait in the regular lines. They're gonna be the exact same they are now because there are people that will pay for this that will divert that traffic. Um, and just one more thing, that I wanted to add. So, if you have done Max Pass before at Disneyland, you know that Max Pass includes Photopass at Disneyland. That has not changed. You will still get your Photopass photos at Disneyland with the Disney Genie Plus. That is going to be that $20 a day. In Florida, you will not get the downloads. You will get customizable, like you can add like Disney filters, kind of like what you can do on Instagram or Snapchat when you're in certain places. You can add like that plate locations filters. They're gonna have stuff like that in My Disney Experience to make your photos cooler, but you do not get the free downloads at Disney World. In both places, you're gonna get, they call them audio experiences. So if there's something like, say you're in, I'm just making this up because they didn't really give us a good example, but say you're outside Hall of Presidents and there's an audio experience that goes with Hall of Presidents. Once again, making this scenario up because they did not give us a solid example on this. A thing will come up and say, hey, there's an audio experience for Hall of Presidents. Did you want to check it out? And you will actually be able to, I mean, I'm guessing it's kind of like a audio tour. I don't know. But you'll have access to those at that Genie Plus level. And then, like I said, the last level is that individual attraction. And you do not have to have the Genie Plus. You don't have to pay the $15 a day to do the individual rides. I know that was a question a lot of people had. And one thing that I saw people say, remember, it is going to be like Fast Pass or Max Pass. You will get to pick experiences throughout the day, one at a time, when there's time for it. So, like, for example, I told you I used Max Pass at Disneyland one day because I was only going to be there one day and it was Christmas time and I wanted to see the Christmas overlays for Haunted Mansion and Small World, and they had long lines. So I got an 11:15 at Small World. Then I rode like every ride in Fantasyland and Big Thunder and Splash Mountain because I didn't have my Haunted Mansion was not until like 4:10 because it was the only time I could get it and I wanted to ride those two things. There was plenty to do in between. There were parades to watch, there were souvenirs to buy. We got to ride plenty of rides. We rode the railway, we rode everything in Fantasyland, the carousel. We tried to pull the sword out of the stone. So there's plenty to do. And I don't think we waited in line for anything for more than 20 or 30 minutes. But that happens now. I've had that happen where I get a Seven Dwarfs Mine Train Fast Pass at 10 o'clock in the morning, and then I can't get Space Mountain until 7:15, and I just have to entertain myself in the park between those. So that's not going to change. But I did hear some people say, like, so we pay this $15 and we can just get in the lightning line. No, you will have to have a callback time still. Um, but it is cheaper than what other parks are offering. Um, Universal, it's almost the same amount as a ticket to get the front of the line. Now that one is more, you just go get in the line. But although I think some rides have a return time, but I think this is going to be great. I think, like I said, I'm here for any questions people have. Um, Feel free to leave questions. I'm going to post this later, but feel free to leave questions and I will get back to you. Oh, and to let you know, at Disneyland, just like before, you can purchase it when you get to the park. At Disney World, you can purchase it, you can add it to your package, or if you have a date specific ticket. Or if you don't want to do that, or you decide like the night before, hey, I want to add it for tomorrow, you can start adding it at midnight. At Disney World, if you're on property, you can start adding experiences at 7 a.m. if you've already purchased. Disneyland, it's when you enter the park. Um, Same thing for Disney World. If you're not staying on property, it's when you enter the park that you can add. Um, so I'm trying to think if there's anything else. And that will be, unless you add it on your ticket when you buy your package, it will be an in-app purchase. Or I think if you have a package, they did not give us details on when we can add it for people to their packages. Um, but like I said, you can just do it for one day if you want to. I will keep you posted. Like I said, if you have any questions, that's pretty much what we know now, plus my experiences from before. Like I said, if you have any questions, feel free to leave them in the comments, and I will get back with you as soon as I can. But hopefully, this helps. And, I don't want anyone to be worried about it. I had a lot of text messages of people freaking out or feeling like they're getting ripped off. Don't think like that, because I think it's going to be really positive. We just have to keep an open mind and see how it plays out. But like I said, if you have any more questions, just leave them in the comments. Thank you. Have a good night.